Hello and welcome to another Skaredcast Battle Report. Today, practice for the WCW. Let's take a look at some Ultramarines Sneaky Vanguard versus Drukhari Real Space Raid. Let's dive in.
The Dark King.
It's all about pirates and pandas, as today we have the Ultramarines fighting the Drukhari. We're playing on layout number 7 for the GW layout packs. We're practicing for WCW. We've got an Ultramarine Vanguard list with all the gubbins, all the sneaky shenanigans against my Real Space Raid list that I'll be taking to the WCW. So let's dive into the armies and then we'll come back to the mission. And here we have my 2,000 points of Drukhari. This is my Real Space Raid that I won the Toronto Full Open with. It's all the list that I've submitted for the WCW, which I'm really excited, the World Championships of Warhammer. So I have my Warlord Archon, Urian Rakarth, a Beast Pack. I've got Lilith Hesperax, 10 Witches, 10 Cablites, 5 Racks, 2 units of 5 Mandrakes, 2 Kronos, 3 Reaver Jetbikes, 2 units of Grotesques, 5 Scourge with Haywires, 2 Venoms, 2 units of 2 Talos, 1 Raider, 1 Ravager. Whew, I think I got everything there, but oh my goodness, this list has been super fun. Let's dive into the Ultramarines. And here we have 2,000 points of Ultramarines Vanguard.
So this is Galagar with a big brick of Eradicators, Ventress, Apothecary Biologist, Calidus, Phobos Lieutenant, 1 unit of Infiltrators to screen, a unit of Company Heroes with Cato Sicarius, Captain Phobos, a couple units of Inceptors, a couple units of Scouts, a couple units of Suppressors, big brick of Centurions, and an Impulsor for the fun.
I love it. There's a lot of sneaky shenanigans from the Space Marines. Let's dive in to the game. Today we're playing Mission H, Supply Drop, Smoke and Mirrors, and Hammer and Anvil. That's going to be a very interesting mission. Of course, we've got our scorecard over here, Mini Board Gaming Forge. We're going to order one as well. The links are down below. Well, now that the stage is set, we're going to roll for Attacker and Defender. I rolled a 1. No! How dare you, dice. Would you like to attack or defend?
I will attack.
You want to attack? You want to let me deploy first? Okay. And here we are after deployment. I have not played on this table before, but it is like crazy blocking lines of sight. There is one angle down that way. There is like one angle down this way. And other than that, it's like staging heaven, which is good for your like crazy like units, but also really good for my crazy units. Interesting. Yeah, because we both have a lot of shooting, but we got a decent amount of combat as well. We don't know which of these objectives is going to remain. In supply drop, 2 of these objectives will be gone by the end of the game. You only score primary by holding objectives in the middle of the board, and your home objective is pretty useless for that sort of stuff as well. Other than that, I've got Beast Pack, Kronos, Lilith, Talos, Urian and Rax inside of that Raider, Ravager, Grotesques, my Court, Grotesques, Mandrakes, another Kronos. And I did infiltrate these Mandrakes because with Smoke and Mirrors, I can just pick them up, put them into reserve, and I don't have to worry about them getting murdered. I just didn't want to have that unit here. So they had to sneak it out. Of course, those infiltrators here with the captain that did the exact same thing to me, didn't want anything behind that building. We've got a scouting Sicarius.
Yeah, Cato Sicarius.
With the Company Heroes in Little Impulsor. We've got Calgar with his massive mega friends, 2 units of Scouts, Ventress, a Calidus Assassin, the Centurions who got Deep Strike, and then in Deep Strike we've got 2 units of Suppressors, 2 units of Suppressors
and Inceptors.
Inceptors, that's the word I was looking for, and 1 Phobos Captain with a lone up, a Phobos Lieutenant, sorry, with lone up cloak as well. Okay, with that, we have some pre-game things that we need to do, starting with the attacker, which would be you. You get to put something in reserve if you so wish. Dun, dun, dun. We just noticed the captain wasn't in there. So he just gets, and then Smoke and Mirrors, attacker picks Smoke and Mirrors first. The infiltrators go away so they don't get murdered by my army, and they get put into reserves. And then my Mandrakes get put into reserves as well. So both of those units will have to come on turn 2 and onwards. And with that, let's dive into the first turn. The Drukhari are ready to face the Ultramarines in battle. as they prepare to lunge forth, striking home, striking deep into enemy territory. Or I guess that's kind of how we like to say, you know, just murdering a bunch of Space Marines, right? The valiant Space Marines get prepared to fight the terrors of the deep, and good thing they shall know no fear, because they just don't know fear. It's just not in their dictionary whatsoever. And first turn. Yes. Good job. Good job, dice that says I get to go second. Hooray. Okay, so with that though, best case scenario actually in supply drop, you have a scout. However, we get to determine pre-game ability stuff. We'll see which objective stays and which will remain. What I meant to say was which one disappears and which one remains. So, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. And this is the one that disappears turn 4. Ooh, that one. Oh no, that makes me sad inside. Okay, so now we get to roll for the one that remains, the one that's going to stay for the entire game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's going to stay till the end. The middle of the table, eh? Okay, so this one goes away turn 4. That one goes away turn 5. That one remains till the end of the game. It is going to be a fight for the middle if I ever saw one. Moving that impulsor forward just a little bit, 6-inch scout move, just to get close to the objectives, to get some secondary options open as well. Of course, my beast pack is just going to scout up this way and threaten the advance of the Centurion Devastators. Making sure I don't end on an objective in case overwhelming force becomes something that gets pulled. So with that, the stage is set. Let's dive into cards for battle round number 1. A huge shout out to Wayland Yutani. Number 1, made this awesome mat that has all of the deployment lines. Also really nice faded Wayland Yutani. Make sure you check them out, thebestterrain.com. And it's double-sided with a lava base as well as all these terrain pieces. They're the official WTC terrain set. I do have a discount code. You can use the link in the description to order sets. They have the GW style. They also have the games, the WTC style, the collapsible. Highly recommend it. Even have all the footprints and stuff too. Check them out. Speaking of which, there you go. Look at that. Smart play, Tex. Engage on all fronts and overwhelming force. You get a CP. I get a CP. You get 2 CP though for Calgar, right? Yeah. Calgar gives you 2 CP. I get 1 CP. This is our primary score at the top. Then we have our secondary scores on the second rung. And battle ready for the painting down at the bottom, which we both have our 10 points for. Impulsor moved up, disembark the unit to get engaged on all fronts. The Eradicators have just kind of moved around the side. The Centurions gave some wide space to the Beast Pack. They do not want to get stuck into the Beast Pack. You sabotage this objective with a CP, so it is sticky, but also does damage to me if I am close to it unless I control the objective. And then, of course, over here, we've got the Callers that stay put, as well as the Scouts that are just ready to pop into reserve and be as annoying as possible. In terms of the score, you got an engage on all fronts for 2 points. That's a small engage. Got to get points on the board early. And then are you getting rid of overwhelming force? Okay. You already have a CP, so an extra CP does not do anything because of Calgar. So with that, we move on to my turn. I will pull up my 1 unit of Mandrakes. We each get a CP. And in terms of cards, I get my, oh, that's not going to happen. I get behind enemy lines. Okay, that's probably not going to, oh, that's turn 1. I'm going to redraw that too. Recover assets, press buttons, and extend battle lines. That's not a bad one, considering we still have 3 objectives in No Man's Land. Skaredcast has a reactive move, and you can use it to get back into transport. So I moved up Grotesques and Racks. They go back into their Impulsor. Nice and safe. And I'm not going to commit any of my shooting that way because it's just going to all die. So I didn't really feel like doing that. However, Urien and the Racks got out of the Raider. The Raider advanced back here to screen out the back of the board. I do have recover assets, which I'm going to do with this Kronos and that Kronos in my zone and in No Man's Land. This unit of Beast Packs has moved up onto this objective. Urien just stood on the middle because now he can die, come back to life. It's just annoying. And then this unit of Grotesque is screened. I've set up my Ravager, my Court, and both units of Talos ready to hop up into the middle if needed. And then that unit of Grotesque and these Racks are going to charge, hopefully charge into that Impulsor and at least tie it down, but basically stop the primary scoring is the main objective there of what they're going to try and do there. So with that, charge phase, fight phase, we'll come back. Okay, hold up. My Grotesques did 7 wounds to this Impulsor. that then failed every save, that then didn't explode, and then they had to emergency disembark because I was able to kind of surround it. And then one guy took 3 damage. So that's a dead impulsor. And I will tie them up with my grotesques. And then they'll get to fight my grotesque. But all in all, I did not expect that tank to go down to the grotesque. I had given them a pain token though. So with that, that's not bad. That's a kill. Hooray. And there you have it. That is the end of turn. The Callous Assassin is going back into Strat. And are you spending a CP to...
Yes.
Okay. The Centurions are going into Deep Strike with a command point because they're being all sneaky-like, you see. All sneaky-like. Thanks to Deep... And they have Deep Strike thanks to Uriel, Ventress, which means they're going to uppy downy. And all the scouts are going to Strat Reserve as well. Oh, no. I'm playing ghosts. I'm fighting ghosts.
So backward.
There's just all ghosts. I will get 5 points for extend battle lines, and I've started to recover my assets, and that's it. That's it. So with that, we go on to battle round number 2. Easy peasy. Extend battle lines and containment. Not bad. You go up to 3 command points. I go up to 3 command points as well. 0 primary, though, as I was able to stop you from holding primary. However, let's dive into the turn. End of the movement phase. So there was a little wiggle room for this sneaky lieutenant that is now going to contain. These infiltrators have just walked back onto the board, and they are going to basically screen out the whole area. Uriel's running up. He's got a 12-inch Vect Aura. So does the Calidus, 12-inch Vect Aura. So she's making sure that I can't use -1 to wound on either of my units. The scouts also moved up to screen that corner. Calgar staying safe, but moving up that way just to nuke that unit. Both of those units, really. Then we have a 3-inch unit of Inceptors coming down to do the second containment. The Suppressors dropping down 9 inches away to try and pop Urian Rakarth to at least force him to use his once per game comeback. The heroes of the chapter are taking that objective to make sure that you can extend your battle lines effectively, and then nothing else in the back. You still have 1 unit of Inceptors, you still have 1 unit of Suppressors in reserve, and of course, 1 unit of Scouts that stays in Strat Reserve, and the Centurions that stay in Deep Strike Reserve. Just a rapid ingress threat of death, which is awesome. And then I spent a CP to rapid ingress of my own. A little Venom that's going to pop down now, and because there's not really any threats to it, I'm going to be able to sticky that middle objective, which is going to be a thorn in the Ultramarine side, because now you have to come to the middle, and I don't have to go anywhere near the middle to hold it, which is going to be good for me. Other than that, let's see how long it takes you to nuke this little pocket of resistance over here. We'll come back after the shooting phase. We're back after the shooting phase. So, lesson in pacing. If the game continues, I'm going to get like 10 points on primary, and then I'm going to sticky that objective, and I'm essentially in control of the scoring of the game, which means the Ultramarines have to do something to sort of get back in the game, because they went first. If they had gone second, they could play a little bit more conservatively, but they're sort of forced to now play the game. So, left 1 of the grotesques alive, like that Calgar can make a charge and then consolidate onto that objective and then threaten the bubble that I have here and force me to sort of like swing around this way to start playing the game. Because if I can just sit back and score all the points, and because I'm going last, I can just shove all of the objective control onto the middle objective at the end. So realizing this in turn 2 is important, because now you can try and shift the pace of the game. All the racks went down to the Eradicator shooting. Then the Suppressors tried to kill Urian, but only put 1 wound on him. 4 up Invul and a 4 up Feel No Pain goes a long way. So he is still alive, but he's now suppressed and is at -1 to hit now. Okay, so with that, you do get a containment there. You get a containment on over there, so that's a full containment. You will get your extend battle line, so that's an 11-point turn in secondary. Very good for secondaries. Let's see if the Calgar charge in, see what they do. And end of the charge phase. They did, Calgar by himself killed that last grotesque, just punched him right in the knocker, bow, with his double twin-linked super power fists, and then they just moved on to the objective, creating a big strong point in that area there. So in terms of the score, I will get my 3 points for recover assets. So I do have an 8 points on secondary right now. You will have 6 points for containment, 5 points for extend battle line, bringing you up to 13 secondary points. as well. So keeping it up on terms of the secondary scoring, you still have 2 CP to my 2 CP as we move into my turn. I get a CP, go up to 3. You get a CP, go up to 3. And my cards, of course, my mandrakes go up, are establish a locus and kill things on objectives. Okay, not bad considering they're all tucked in, but they're tough. Like, you've got like some, they're such tough units. Maybe I can kill them. I don't know, we'll see. On to Drukhari turn number 2. End of the movement phase sees the beast pack surround Little Lieutenant. Gonna try kill him. The Kronos advancing to stop any Space Marines from 3-inch deep striking onto this objective. These Talos moving around. This Ravager moving up. Urian moving up. This Venom moving after the Witches advanced 6 inches with Lilith to get up there. The Grotesque moved up, so Skaredcast has moved this way to stop any shooting really from this angle, from the Ravager and stuff. The Talos advanced that way. This Kronos moved up. The Raider took that spot. Then we have the Mandrakes popping in out of Strat Reserve. They drop down again with Deep Strike. And then we had this Venom pull up and then dislodge that for Established Locust, just get some points. And of course, the Scourge moved down to shoot. They've got some options. And then to shoot and scoot behind this building as well. I do have like a 10-inch charge onto Uriel, but of course he has a reactive move in the charge phase, which can be really annoying. And I still have my jet bikes and 1 unit of Witches in reserve. The big thing is, we're going to have a fight over here, so we're going to see what happens. I've moved my court up, and it's just going to be an absolute mess. So with that, shooting phase. So charges. Urian made a 9-inch charge to get into Uriel. Urian versus Uriel. That's not a tongue twister if I ever heard one. These Beast Pack just jump into here, because they're like 2 inches away. Get them! And then over here, I declared a charge. Skaredcast decided to use the reactive move to basically get in front, so I can't sort of like do some shenanigans and then punch the Eradicators because he needs the Eradicators for the rest of the game. But I did roll high enough that I was able to get a lot of OC on the objective. So it was a good roll for me, but also smart to sometimes like move block. And you wanted to make sure that I was far enough away from this Venom that I didn't just kill them and then hop back into the Venom. So sacrificing the heroes of the Imperium to be heroes, put the standard in the ground, and do the very cinematic thing as well. I would like to note in the shooting phase, this Ravager shot into those Inceptors. They armor contempted and made 3 out of 3 5-up saves to keep them all alive, which means that I wasn't able to kill the little units that do points and scoring and stuff, which is what I really wanted to kill. I wanted that so dead. But with that, let's go into the fight phase. In combat, Urian killed Uriel, and then the Witches and Lilith have killed basically everybody. Lilith did 22 wounds to the unit, which means now Skaredcast needs to take 19 4-up impulse. Okay, Skaredcast, we believe in you. Oh, you takes 1, 2. Look at that. How many wounds does he have?
5.
He only failed 6. That is so close. And you wanted to pick him up. Always roll your dice, folks. Always. Like, you literally, how many is he? 5 wounded?
He's 5 wounded.
If you, just 2 more, boom, he's alive like a hero. It goes. Anyway, he does die though, but roll your dice, folks. You never know what's going to happen. And then, of course, the Beast Pack just murdered that lieutenant. So let's go to the scoreboard here. I did get a 4-point established locus with my Cablight Warriors, and I actually killed Skaredcast and the squad for a full overwhelming force. That's 10 points from me on secondaries, really helping me with that as well. So with that, end of my turn 2. Let's go to Space Marine turn 3. So turn 3, I get 1 CP. You still have Caligar on the table. 2 CP there. You draw 2 cards, which shall be storm a hostile objective. That's a very easy one. Oh, an assassination. No. That's like 3 points. But, you know, it is what it is. I knew, I was like, I did say it when I charged her. I was like, you haven't drawn Assassinate. Didn't I say that? I totally did. Of course you draw it right now. Okay, you don't have any uppy downy. I guess the Scouts could have gone uppy if you really needed to. The Calidus, we had already discussed. She goes up every turn regardless, unless stated otherwise. And we go on to your turn. I think the Space Marines in this case, because I was able to take away that objective, this objective does go away on turn 4. You still have a couple of reserves. You have to try and, I guess, start pushing in, but now it's going to be about making sure that the fight for the middle happens as well. So let's see how this goes. And Caligar, of course, big guy, strong guy with all of his eradicators. And he still has friends, which should have died to Dark Lances, but they didn't, because power armor be cool. I don't know, let me know what you think down below. I want to say, by the way, this map is wild. Look at this. Line, 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 line. Like, imagine playing against World Eaters on this map. Oh my gosh, that'd be terrifying. Calgar got a 6-inch advance to just yeet onto this objective and pull down my sticky. Oh no, makes me so sad. Oath of Moment Lilith, because that's both Assassinate and Storm Hostile objective. Those suppressors stayed still. Those suppressors deep struck. Those scouts moved up. This infiltrate unit kind of shuffled. This big unit of Centurions just dropped down has to try and kill these beasts. They came in 3 inches away. They want to try and kill my Haywire that can make short work of the Eradicators and potentially even shoot my Court as well. So with that, we have a couple of things shooting. Calgar can shoot a variety of things, the Inceptors can, and I spent my last CP to rapid ingress the bikes, mainly because when they fly over infantry, they do, or non-vehicle, non-monster, they do mortal wounds, so I just want to do some mortal wounds potentially to the invincible Inceptors, and then maybe go and fight some of those suppressors, because I don't like suppressors. They need to die. So with that, Space Marine turn. Space Marines shot and killed quite a bit of things. My whole beast pack died instantly to some shooting. Urien, like a boss, only took 1 damage from some sporadic shooting. Cabalite lived. 1 Cabalite lived. All the Scourge died. Lilith instantly died to a bazillion bolter shots. And then the Eradicators nuked that Venom. And with that, we're into the charge phase. I have 0 CP, so I cannot heroically intervene. So there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. This is an interesting teaching moment on how to get around fights first units. So there's 1 CP in the bank. You do need to make a 4-inch charge, but I wanted to explain this just in case it fails, but it is very easy. If they make the charge of the Venom, you can charge the Venom. I don't have enough CP to heroically intervene, which means that depending on how folks go, you could pile in and then fight the fights first unit before they get to fight you, because you activate the unit, you pile in, you can fight any unit that you pile into, which allows Calgar and some of this to actually do some damage onto the Court of the Archon without the Court being able to capitalize on the fights first. So a cool little interesting thing that you can do here. Of course, it'll depend on what the charge is. But you declare something close to a fights first unit, charge it, pile in, fight the fights first unit if they cannot heroically intervene. He needs a 4 though. He does. That's a 10. It's sort of okay. Just means you have to put probably more models to try, but it does mean you can try and swing around a little bit more aggressively. So with that charge, was able to create a bubble so that you can't base to base the Venom. And then using your 10-inch move, you're able to get closer to the Venom because you have to end closer, but in like a sideways position outside of an inch of the Court, which then allows you to activate the unit. Then Calgar is going to be able to pile in with his Victrix Guard and a couple of multi-Meltars. And then you'll be able to get quite a lot of attacks onto the Court while putting the biologists on the objective, because if they kill anything in this, they will be able to make him super OC, which is really cool. End of the combat phase. Effective combat phase. Killed the entire Court with the Cabalites. So that's a kill there, which does mean that this biologist goes up to OC9. Crazy! And then they did put 3 wounds on the Venom. Archon Skari only put 2 wounds on a Victrix, as the Victrix Guard shield just tanked all of the saves there. Very, very fancy. And then, of course, that Cabalite died. So with that, a good turn for the Space Marines. Let's go to the scoreboard. Successfully stormed hostile objective and assassinate for 9 more points on your secondary cards, bringing you up to 22 points, but still 0 on the primary. But you're in a good position to help on that primary score. So with that, you will get a CP go up to 2. I get a CP go up to only a single CP. I will only get 5 points on the primary this time, because my Kronos is on that objective. My Mandrakes go up in the sky. I have my Defend Stronghold and behind enemy lines, which is why Urien is right there already. Look at him. Look at him. He's so excited about life. He's going to get me points. Points! Go, Urien, go. Well, you've dealt me a thing I need to deal with, so I need to deal with that. And that's the game plan. Deal with the big unit of Eradicators. That's not even counting the fact that you still have these Centurions back here. Oh my gosh. And here we are after the movement phase. So, Talos moving up, Kronos moving up, Kronos, Talos moving up, Raiders staying on there to try and defend my stronghold. I put the 5 witches I had left in reserve over there. The bikes flew over the Vitrix guard with their little blade veins and did the last mortal wound there to just get rid of that 4-up invul. Get him! And then everybody else just kind of moved around, and then I fell back with everybody so that the Overwatch wouldn't be able to happen. So Archon Skari moved back there. This Venom moved over there. And so I've got Talos ready to fight. I've got guns ready to shoot. Urien Rakarth is living his best life. Just gonna go try murder Urien, murder things. Other than that, my mandrakes, my witches, and my mandrakes are creating a nice little screen, so you can see there. So no scouts come in. If I can get rid of the Inceptors, that means I don't have to worry about 3-inch deep strikes anymore, which would be really good. They're gonna be really annoying. But it is what it is. It's all about that middle objective. So I have to kill this. This 9 OC guy over here is just annoying. So let's see what we can do. End of the turn, or end of the shooting phase, I only killed like 3 Inceptors. I mean, Eradicators. All of the saves were really good, and then none of my Haywire popped off, which is kind of what I was hoping. And I did shoot Dark Lances down there because I need to try and get them down, but I needed to take that objective away from you to stop you from scoring an 8 on primary. I don't know if I can stop you from scoring an 8 from this, but at least it stops the 16 there, which is massively important. However, let's go into the charge phase. Urien Rakarth is going to charge into some suppressors over there, and he goes, I got him! He's living his best life. That is Urien, just having a absolute fun time. And then we've got over here. So this unit of Talos is going to charge into there. We're just going to jump them in, and then they're going to get charged by a bunch of stuff. And then I'm probably going to run the bikes into the suppressors. End of the fight phase. I rolled decently on these Kronos. They were the Talos. They were able to charge around, fight. I put my pain token on them. They killed this unit and did have enough movement to get onto that objective, which was massive. The big thing was them rolling a 10-inch charge with fly. They were able to fly and tag the biologist, so I was able to get 11 objective control onto that objective. Massive. If I don't roll a 10 on them, doesn't happen. However, I was able to charge in. The fighting from these two did kill the Eradicators, so now it's 2 separate units. I only put 1 wound on those Inceptors, and they have pistols, so they can just blast away at my bikes no matter what. That's just, it is what it is. Urien killed 1 and didn't die, and that's it. But both Talos ended up killing a unit, the Eradicators and the Inceptors, so they're permanently pain tokened as well. With that, that's the end of turn 3. Let's go on to the final little bit of the game here. This objective is going to disappear at the start of the next turn, so it's going to go away. Boom, done. Never to be seen again. Never to be seen again. I don't know where it was supposed to go. And yeah, do you want to pick them up?
Yes.
Yes, they're going to get picked up for your CP. So you go down to 1 CP, but Calgar is still very much alive. And as for scoring, I started to defend my stronghold, and I get 3 points for behind enemy lines, bring me up to 21 points. So I'm still down on the secondaries, but the primaries are looking really good for the Drukhari right now. Assassin is not going to go up into the sky, so it is turn number 4 now. I will get a CP go up to 2. Marines who get a CP go up to 3 because of Calgar. And in terms of these things, you get Secure No Man's Land. Oh, perfect, considering there's still 2 objectives on the board. And I haven't scored that one yet. And Cull the Horde, which is just a redraw, an instant redraw, which is Cleanse. 2 actions on objectives in No Man's Land. You can spend a CP to redraw if you wish.
I think so.
Yes. Get rid of it. Feels down to 2 CP.
Feels like a good plan.
Behind enemy lines. Okay. Maybe potential. You know, Calgar's really slow. I guess I was able to tie up your 3-inch deep strikers, so it might just be a dud. Okay. Let's go on to the turn. End of the movement phase. The Calidus just moved up into the middle to get a Reign of Confusion, 12 inches, which then allowed the biologist to fall back without really getting the threat of Overwatch. Calgar's just going to continue fighting that Grotesque. And then, of course, we got Inceptors against the bikes. Suppressors have just moved up to kill a Venom / shoot down into Ravager. The Centurions have just dropped down there. All of them can see this or like the Ravager over here. These Infiltrators kind of sidestepped. The Scouts and the Infiltrators are going to try and take out Urien after that suppressed unit fell back. So, behind enemy lines seems to be a long stretch, not something that's possible. We still have 5 Scouts that have stacked in Strat Reserve. Because of my screens, they just don't have anywhere to go at the moment. So with that, Shooting phase, turn 4. This is getting exciting at the end of the game here. Just tons of fight. Calgar now is by himself. So he has a 4-up, feel no pain, because you can actually allocate wounds to him, because it's only him and his Victrix guard as well. And then we still have Mr. 9OC over here. Wild. Mid-shooting phase, quick little change. I'd forgotten that Urian was there. His 9-inch bubble stopped the Centurions from being able to go there. So the Centurions are coming back here instead, because they have their pick of the litter from this side of the table as well. End of the shooting phase. Of course, the Centurions just absolutely nuked a Talos. Killed this Talos that exploded, was within 6. Killed the last wound that Calgar had taken 3 wounds off with his pistol super weapons. Then did a wound, and all the mortal wound madness. But that does mean Calgar can now charge something, which is very annoying. Bikes died to pistols. Urian Rakarth made like 20 saves and feel no pains with 4-ups. He still has 2 wounds left and he hasn't died once yet. He is being a monster right now, which is awesome. But with that, we're on the charge phase. Calgar being up and about is very, very dangerous for the Drukhari. So we'll see what the elves can pull out. End of the combat phase. So Calgar charge in and just pop the Kronos like a balloon. It was like pop, like one of those pimple popping videos, just like pop. And then he tagged the Ravager to make sure that the Ravager has to fall back or die next turn. Or shoot and then die. So we'll see. The Talos are fine there. Urian Rakarth survived and killed 3 of the scouts. He has 1 wound left. Yeah, go Urian. And then over here, the Centurions are still just being really annoying. So let's go to the scoreboard here. I successfully defended my stronghold. So that will be a 3 points there, bringing that to 24. You secure no man's land before the objectives disappear, giving you a big 5-pointer on secure no man's land. However, you do not get behind enemy lines. Are you going to ditch it?
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. But you do not get a CP for that, as Calgar has already given you your CP. I will be pulling my mandrakes up into the sky. However, I am at 0 primary still, so we're at 15 to 15 there. Basically, I just need to stop you from getting 15 there in your 5th turn. Because I have bottom of turn, I should be able to just capitalize on the 15 points there. But it has been quite the match. Let's see what my cards decide to do as we go into turn 4. Marked for death. So you get to choose 3 of your units for me to not kill. And kill stuff. Okay, well, I'm okay with those cards. You have selected this unit as suppressors because I can't really get to them. This unit, not that unit, because you need to uppy downy them, which means you don't want to give me 5 points. Calgar, so if I do shoot a Calgar, it's just 3 points for you basically. And these infiltrators, because it's hard for me to get to them. So good mark for death choices. And here we go, end of the movement phase. Kronos, Talos just moved up. Ravager's just going to stay in combat. I'm just going to shoot. I prefer to shoot at this point in the game than not shoot. The witches that were back here got into this raider, and I've screened with a sideways raider, 9 and 9, mandrakes, 9 and 9, mandrakes to continue to screen out my whole backboard with very little. and then over here we've got Archon Skari just getting aggressive over here. Urian Rakarth is going to stay in combat, potentially try and kill stuff. And then the Talos, I need to kill the 9OC guy. If I can do that, then I can stop. That's literally my priority. If I can do that, I can stop the 15-point turn 5 for the Space Marines, because that objective is going away. Other than that, no prisoners. If I can just kill stuff, I get points. So let's try and make something happen. Shooting phase was very uneventful. Calidus survived with 1 wound, because I'm trying to get no prisoners. Then that little impulsor incursor unit survived with 3. Anyway, it didn't do as much as I would have hoped. That's okay though. The actual stealth plus being in cover thing from far away really does help the Marines a lot, especially against armor 3 or AP 3 stuff. And then you can combine with AOC and it becomes silly. Like they become like almost impossible to kill because they are in cover basically all the time. Okay, so charging, I'm gonna get my Talos into, thank goodness it's nice and close there. Woo! I have to kill it or else that's just not good for me. The Kronos is just gonna stay there, or do I wanna, yeah, no, I'll go tie up Calgar, I guess. I'll just charge Calgar, boop, like this, just to make sure that I get out of the line of sight of those Centurions. And then Archon Skari is gonna jump in and kill, he's more efficient killing those little suppressor guys, so he's gonna jump into the suppressors. 6. So he's going to jump into the suppressors just right in there. Pop. Like that. And then that's that. So with that, let's go into the fight phase. End of the fight phase. Skari did kill the 2 wounded suppressors and then was able to pile into the incursor or that guy. They killed Urien. The little scouts finally got the last wound. Does Urien stand up? Yay! Technically in the shortest distance, which is on the other side of that wall. Get him! He's back. That's funny. And then Calgar punched the Ravager to death, who then exploded. Did no damage to Calgar, did a couple of damage to each of these units as well. So I did not get marked for death, so I am going to get rid of that for a CP. And I did kill 2 units for no prisoners. So I will take my 4 points for no prisoners, bring me up to 28, keeping it nice and close for the secondaries. Of course, the primary is where the main game's at. And then I'll get 2 CP as we move into battle round number 5. Not pulling the Centurions up because they can just move and see what they want to shoot. And that's it. Turn number 5. I get a CP, go up to 3. You still get 2 CP, go up to 3. Man, having a character that just gives you CP is so good in this game. No prisoners, that's kill stuff, not terrible. And sabotage, do an action outside of your deployment zone. Here we are after the movement phase. These scouts finally came in. Sabotage! They're starting the sabotage objective. These infiltrators stayed still. The Centurions just moved up. They can shoot whoever they want there. Suppressors moved up as well. Callus moved up, but failed a battle shock test. So she's battle shocked. That gave me a CP, which is nice. And then they have moved up as well. They're going to grenade and out of spite into Urien. And then the fight, Pistols versus Archon Skari, continues. Middle of the shooting phase in turn 5. Okay, so they all moved up. You are shooting into that. So you did kill them. I have 1 more explosion. I'm hoping I explode to kill the Callus. That's the only thing that matters. Yay! Yes! That's why I filmed it. Go! Dad, get out of here, Callus. Everybody takes a wound. 5 up, feel no pain on... Yes, she's fine. And then Calgar is taking wounds, so 4 up on him. He's fine. And then 1 wound on them. They don't get a save.
That's right.
They just did. Good job. Good job. No more reign of confusion around here. And that's the turn there. So... the scouts tried to charge into Urien and then got murdered. I did kill the one Incursor, Incursor? No, Inceptor. Then I did -1 to wound on my my Kronos, which actually really helped against Calgar. He only did 1 wound thanks to the -1 to wound from the Coven strat. With that, let's go back, but you did kill the Talos this turn as well. You get 2 points for no prisoners, and you've started your sabotage, which I cannot really stop because of where your scouts are. So you will get a 29 there as well. As we move into my turn, I have 2 CP going up to 3. You have 1 CP going up to 2 as well. You're doing your sabotage, and my cards with Uppy Downy Mandrakes will be Cleanse, which is 2 points in the middle, potentially. Sabotage, which will be 6 points with Urien. Get him! Yeah! Go. What a boss. He doesn't even have to move because he doesn't want to get Overwatch. Yeah, I will be spending the 1 CP on him, though, to automatically pass morale. So I don't have to roll it. So he just automatically gets that no matter what. So that'll be a 6-point sabotage. I am not going to get rid of Cleanse because I need the 2 CP for the 15 points on primary because I move up here. They get out here. And then I essentially use my 2 CP to get the entire unit of witches onto the objective with Strike and Fade, which does give me my 15 points at the end of the game. And with that, we go to 30 primary here, thanks to those sneaky witches right at the end of the game there, which was very handy. And I will be getting a 6 points, bringing up to 34 on secondaries, thanks to Urien Rackgarth being an absolute boss all game. Good job, Urien Rackgarth. You will get your 3 points for sabotage as well, bringing you up to 32 points as well. For anybody and everybody that watches, seems like you enjoy when I kind of go through all the points. The big here was primary here, was able to drop the Marines down to 0 primary. As for secondaries, it was only a 2-point difference on secondaries. Literally came down to primary. With that, the Drukhari take the win. Thank you very much for the game. That was really fun. So what did you think? Yeah? Did you have... So you do a post-game report. What was one thing you would change as a Space Marine player knowing what happened in this mission and this table, what would have you done differently?
I would change attacker defender and move my infiltrators up. Hold that building up there.
So choosing to be defender instead of attacker so that you could not only put an infiltration unit where you wanted to infiltrate, which was back here, but the attacker has to use their pre-game things first, which means I would have had to remove the smoke from the shadows first, potentially, and then you could have redeployed or put something else somewhere different if you would have had the captain as well, which would have been an interesting. Other than that, fantastic. Thanks a lot for the game and driving all the way up for this. Really fun. Even painting all the Marines and stuff.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right, just to come up and play at the studio. Huge shout out to the channel Patreons, without whom none of this is possible. Thank you so much for all your ongoing support. I hope you learned stuff. Leave a comment down below. All the links and stuff are in the description. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.